What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Shonuff71, aka Digadulamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 290 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. And as usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime first on deck. It's Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the high-res hater.
That's me, and the place to be, as always. Come join me as we talk about games. Right, Joey B? Joey P? And the place to be?
Bars.
And that is some freestyle business right there. Woo,
freestyle.
Bars. A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that gamer stepdaddy. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just chilling like a villain, having a lot of fun, talking about, games with y'all is always a pleasure. So yeah, nothing really, to say. Just happy. Hope y'all are happy too.
And of course, our show's a no-go without Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. How you doing?
Everything's all good. Getting back in the flow. Back from my little vacation with PAX that we talked about last week, and so just been kind of getting back into the usuals over here. So it's good times. So I got. You introduced me to a new anime / manga in Demon Slayer last night, so kudos.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, we might talk a little bit about that in the upcoming segment, which we call the playlist. All right, Jabroni, since you mentioned Demon Slayer, why don't you, talk about what you have been viewing and playing this past week?
Let's talk about Demon Slayer first. So we got to see, Kev invited me over to go see the latest Demon Slayer movie, which is, what's the subtitle of that? I kind of forget.
Infinity Castle.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and I'm not familiar with Demon Slayer whatsoever. I mean, I know what the characters look like. I don't even know the characters' names, first coming in. So just coming in and just watching this film from beginning to end. A nice 2-hour plus movie. And I thought the action was good. Even though I know it's not a show. Is it a Shonen Jump manga? Is. Okay.
If it's not Shonen Jump, it is a Shonen style series.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Shonen Jump or not, but
I think it's by Viz, so I think that counts.
Yeah, but enjoyed the movie. I mean, I wasn't aware of the fact that because they're in this Infinity Castle, they're going towards the big bad at the end, and obviously, it's not the conclusion. Spoiler alert, of course, that they focused on the upper tier demons that they were fighting, and specifically one upper tier demon. And so you got to see kind of his origin story and all that mixed in, which was it was pretty long. I mean, it was like about 15-20 minutes, right, Kev? As far as learning about the upper demon's origin story.
Yeah, it wasn't too far from a half hour.
Wow.
Going into his backstory.
Yeah, I almost felt like it was like a separate anime episode on top.
It really should have been. It really should have been.
Poor guy.
It really should have been.
Well,
they could have put that in. They could have put that in the series.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they'll split these portions out and make episodes to download and watch, that kind of thing on there. But overall, I thought it was good. It's like with me not being familiar with all the characters, and looks like they're obviously have grown since the beginning of the series, obviously. So it's the point that, this is like the beginning of the end, I believe, right, Kev? As far as the story,
Yeah, and
storyline.
Demon Slayer is very easy to get into. It's not the series. The separate seasons are not very long. You could actually binge all. I think there's 3 seasons out now in a weekend. Probably
Yeah,
less than that.
yeah. Because I was
Um,
reading. I saw an article said how to get caught up with Demon Slayer, and it's like the episode count was like in less than 100. It was like 56 or like in the 60s or something like that. So
yeah. It's not like
after
you're trying to
watching,
get into One Piece or something.
yeah, because I've watched One Piece up to like
No.
episode like 400, and
Yeah.
I know I'm not even like even near the end with One Piece, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to go back to you know complete my viewing of One Piece or not. That's just a lot of hours and a lot of filler, if I should say so. Maybe when I retire, then I could dedicate and fill that time with some One Piece. But overall, I would say, I know you have maybe some words to say about the movie, but even the whole trials and tribulations of the upper tier demon, which I don't know, I forgot his name, but it's a point that,
Azan starts with an A.
yeah, Azan, yeah,
Azak.
there you go.
Yeah.
So I actually brought a tear or two to my eye. I felt the emotion of what he was feeling. So, but I guess I'm a softie with that kind of stuff. So
Well,
don't take
I,
it.
I, I got a little misty eyed at Mugen Train, but so I feel you on that. But
Yeah,
Come on.
but yeah, it was. I mean, just for me, it was. I liked the movie. Did not like it as much as Mugen Train. I thought there was too much. I don't know what would you call that, Japanese melodrama type stuff going on.
Days of Our Anime Lives.
Days of Days of our shonen.
But that's the best part.
Eh, in doses, and I don't want to give the wrong impression. I think this was a good movie, but Mugen Train was better. I think Mugen Train's focus on action, because I mean, when I go to Demon Slayer, I want to see swords and I want to see demons getting cut, and that's what Mugen Train was about. For the most part, there was a little bit of character development, and the emotional hit that happens at the end of Mugen Train is, in my opinion, is more significant than it is in Infinity Castle, because you kind of sort of could see it coming, but when it hits, because the rest of the movie was all about action and the Demon Slayers doing what they were there to get done, solving the problem. They solved it. One of them fell, and because it wasn't melodrama scenario on top of melodrama scenario up to the end, it hit harder. Infinity Castle had melodrama from beginning to end in certain segments, and it all revolved around individuals with either backstory with an upper level demon or the upper level demons themselves. And I get it. It's good character development. I understand it. But I feel a lot of this stuff could have been put in the series. And again, I haven't read the manga. I know what happens in the manga. I know how it ends, but I haven't read any of the manga issues. To me, it would have been better to have all that backstory kind of wrapped up in the series. And then when it comes to the Infinity Castle, okay, we're here to put blade to body and get this done. But I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't enjoy it. I did, but it did not hit as hard as Mugen Train, for sure. But I'd encourage you to check out the series as a whole. It's on Netflix, Crunchyroll. It might be streaming on a couple other places. Mugen Train is also available for streaming now. It has been for a while. I think it was released in the theater and on streaming together. And I think the whole series and the movie is well worth well worth the time. What little time it's going to take to get caught up is pretty good.
Yeah. Is the game any good? Because I did just pick up today Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles earlier.
The first one is trash. The second one is good. So hopefully you bought Hinokami Chronicles 2. If you bought Hinokami Chronicles 1, I'd recommend you take it back and get 2 because 1 is trash.
I bought 1, so that's why I bought it.
Yeah.
So.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
But one man's trash might be another man's treasure.
I'll tell you this: everything you hate about modern arena fighters is in 1. Everything that you hate about modern arena fighters has been heavily addressed in 2. So, and you don't need, and basically 1 and 2 is kind of sort of the same. The only difference is they add in some folks from Mugen Train in 2. They're not in 1 if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, 2 is plays significantly better. It's way smoother. Combat is smoother. Combat is reminiscent of Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 and 2, which in my opinion are the best arena fighters that they've ever done. Hitagaki Chronicles 2 is very reminiscent of Ninja Storm 1 and 2. Minus the online lag. So
yeah, because I have not played any of the Ninja Storm games. I own them all, obviously, but it might be something where you might be tired of the formula. Maybe it's all new to me, so maybe this will be something that I could dig in and possibly.
The formula is, it's like if you're coming from Street Fighter. Or you're coming from, any traditional, if you're coming from Tekken, it's like, it's going to be very basic. I think the problem is that I feel that they've resolved a good part of it in Hitagaki Chronicles 2, is that it's not so much of a spam fest and a lag fest that 1 was. There are some characters that are spammy, but you have defensive options that are more refined in 2 than they are in 1. I'm also going to say that from what I played at Evo, it was my play time at Evo with the game that got me to buy 2. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have given it much attention. But they had the booth up. It was one of the few booths where there was no line. So and EJ went and played. And I was like, if you don't like arena fighters, this game is not going to change your opinion. But if you're cool with them, and I would define myself as someone who's cool with them when they're done right, I think it's worth the buy. Now you can argue, is it worth full price? Should you wait for a sale? I say if unless you're an arena fighter junkie, wait for a sale.
I picked it up for $15. So
yeah, okay. So if you can get it,
it's not bad.
Yeah, so I think the $15. Well, $15 would have been better spent on Hitagaki Chronicles 2, but
I'll probably buy Hinokami Chronicles. Hinokami Chronicles 2 once it gets cheaper. So
definitely get it cheaper, but yeah, it's the second one is by far and away superior to the first.
Good deal. I was just thinking maybe I would get caught up with the storyline by playing the game versus watching the anime, but I think I'll probably do both.
So. Yeah, whatever you would gain from playing the first one over the second one as far as catching up is it's minimal.
Got it.
It's minimal because the second one goes into the first and catches you all the way up through Mugen Train and also into Infinity Castle. So
got it.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, as far as what else I've been playing, a lot of my time since I've gotten back, we did another game night with Earth Defense Force 6, and so I'm addicted to Earth Defense Force 6, so it's just gotten to where it's been my kind of game of choice. I've kind of put down Dragon Quest 11. I need to go back to that. But Earth Defense Force is just super fun. I'm playing with the Ranger, of course, my character class of choice on there. The plot line of the game obviously is going all wacky tobacco a little bit, so I think I was at the end of the 36th mission, and then it jumped ahead like 3 years in the storyline. I was stuck in the warehouse with the commander at the beginning of the game, and was like, why am I back here? And this character I'm talking to with the glasses talking some nonsensical crap, So,
Yeah.
And I mean,
you'll see that a lot.
Yeah, so nonsensical crap. I mean, it's Earth Defense Force. It is what it is. I kind of wish they would have maybe have treated the translation just a little bit better. I was tempted to maybe put it in Japanese, see if the subtitles had anything to say, but it's EDF. I'm not even going to pay any attention. It's just going to go off and kill all these creatures.
Yeah.
All right.
Just have fun with it, dude.
Yeah. Also, I happened to fire up. I signed up and I got into the Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage Beta. So this is the upgrade for Virtua Fighter 5 Evolution that came out on Steam and now is coming out on consoles. And so it's coming out for PS5, Switch, and Xbox. Of course, I picked up on the PS5, and so this beta is going until I think tomorrow. I wasn't able to resume any save information and retain my win-loss record from Virtua Fighter 5 Evolution. So kind of start fresh. And first, when I fired up the game, because it was a PS5 app, I was not able to use my DualSense, and so I did try to play a couple of matches online, ranked with the DualSense, and the DualSense wasn't really working for me as far as fighting games is concerned. So lo and behold, I busted out one of my controller adapters. I had a Brook controller adapter to use PS3, PS4, and other platforms on PS5, and that thing worked like a champ. I actually enjoy playing Virtua Fighter on DualShock 4 on there, so the PS4 controller, I really got used to using that. And so once I got that going, I got some good winning streaks going along. I did have some drops, of course. But the rollback netcode seems like it's working great. And so, it's only a $10 upgrade for the people that own Virtua Fighter 5 Evolution. So I'm definitely going to plunk down my $10 and upgrade and take it from there on there. So it's kind of cool to play a fighting game because it's like I fired it up Friday night, and I was like, before I fired it up, I talked to, I was in the party with Dez, and I was like kind of tired and it's like, ready to go to bed. And as soon as I fired up to play a round of Virtua Fighter, I wound up staying up till 2:00 in the morning. So it's like,
wow.
Yeah, because once I get in the zone, especially when I'm playing fighter, I'm in the zone. I'm not even thinking about anything. I'm reacting and just kind of going with the flow. So
Guess I'm just boring, huh?
no, it's not you. It's just
It's just Joe.
I know. So all right. And then last but not least, the long anticipated, long awaited Borderlands 4 did get purchased and bought. I pretty much picked up the physical, so I had to wait until Friday evening because I had some other stuff to do after I left work. And so game did not get installed until last night. So I happened to just fire it up. I played the intro sequence. I picked Rafa as my character with the I forgot what this character class was. The Exo Soldier. Yeah, Exo Soldier. Game runs okay. I was kind of, I saw some people online kind of commenting the fact that they want to have to be able to update the depth of field on console. I guess there's an option on PC to update the depth of field, but on PC, but there's no option on console for some reason on there. There was also the fact that I think the graphics are okay, but I just kind of wish they looked a little bit better. It just feels like it might be, for me at least, like there's some like funky way of what it looks like. It has motion blur on, so you can't turn motion blur off. So that kind of, something to where I'm just trying to get used to how Borderlands 4 is set up and kind of go from there. I mean, I only basically finished the beginning mission. Once I got to like the Crimson Raider headquarters and Claptrap at the beginning, I pretty much logged out and signed off, and that's where I'm off. So I'm very, very early in the game. I just fought the first boss on there, so I'm just gonna have to get used to it a little bit. I know I died quite a few times. I wasn't used of the enemies having a little bit more of
they dodge a lot more.
Yeah. So I kind of find to my surprise that I'm going to have to actually use some actual strategy when playing Borderlands. So it's not just shoot. And the difficulty, it seems like, they were hitting a little hard on there. So, and they introduced a heal mechanic to the game too. So I had to get used to healing myself, of course. And, but, all in all, it's still a Borderlands game. There's a bunch of boxes to open. I already went and found the vending machine to sell some excess guns I had in my inventory screen and marking stuff as junk so I could go ahead and sell if need be on there. So that loop is still the same. So I'm going to have to get used to, and then I'll probably have to see, because I know, Des, you've had probably the most experience out of the three of us playing this game so far since this came out. So
yeah, didn't you? Joe said that you bought it, Kev, right?
Yeah, I haven't.
Cool. Have you played it yet?
I haven't finished the tutorial. I'm towards. I think I'm probably towards the end of it, but I haven't completed it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it primarily because it seems to play a little bit more like Destiny.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I'm not. To me, the graphics look like Borderlands, so I only dabbled in the first one and never touched it again. I don't have much to say on the graphic style. I haven't noticed any frame hiccups or anything like that. But it's fun. I don't know I haven't used any of my characters' special abilities yet. I'm using the exosuit guy as well.
Yeah, you don't get it till after you pass the level. Your first level up, you'll get it. So if you haven't passed the tutorial, you haven't got any of the special moves yet.
Yeah, I barely opened it up when I beat the first boss. So,
and I wound up dying a lot, like a lot. But I attribute that to me not really playing FPSs all that much. So, when I play a game like this, I just want to, run straight ahead and just start shooting folks. But I guess, you have to utilize a little bit of strategy before you get your abilities, at least before you get your abilities, I'm assuming. So, but yeah, I feel I'm going to enjoy the game. I did not buy the physical because I couldn't. My intent was to be able to join the game night. I wasn't able to, but since Best Buy would not guarantee a physical to be available to be picked up, the only one that they were guaranteeing was one of the the greatest versions, and I'm not paying whatever dollars for that. And then Amazon was only guaranteeing delivery by Monday. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, that's not going to help me trying to get into the game night on Friday. So I wound up buying it digitally. So yeah, that's how I wound up getting the game. But yeah, it seems fun. I'll just have to carve out some time and play more.
Yeah, mine. So yeah, I played it. I got it. I pre-ordered it. I started playing it Thursday because they gave you the ability to play it on Thursday at 9 because that's East Coast is midnight, so technically it's the next day. So I started playing it at 9 on Thursday, and I had watched a little bit of folks online play through the beginning of it, so I knew a little bit of it, and then I played through it. I picked Holloway, or Hawthorne, or I think it's Holloway, the black girl who's kind of siren-like. She uses her anti-grav stuff, the Gravitor, because I play a more control style, and her stuff is basically more control and support. So, and I tried Rafa as well, and I didn't try the other two because I've just been trying very hard to be like, this is the person I'm going to play. I'm not going to, continually make characters like I normally do, and I'm just going to get it done. And so that's kind of been my mantra when playing Borderlands 4. And I have to say, I've got a little bit farther than Joe and Kev. I got onto the actual continent. And if you know, Borderlands now is just it's just a big open world right now, and with big areas. So you're not planet hopping, at least not yet. And it's just, at least I don't think you are. And it's just, everything takes place on this planet, Helios or whatever. So that's interesting. And yeah, I have to say it does play a lot like Destiny. When you get your grapple things, it's only on the R3, so it's on your little analog stick, and you press down, and then you'll fling it out. You can also grab stuff from the environment and pull it in and throw it at people, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's Borderlands. I'll definitely say that the on normal, the enemies do hit a little bit harder. I think they did that. Well, Gearbox definitely did that on purpose to kind of emphasize your abilities to have to heal yourself. It's not just you run around and you pick up a healing thing anymore. There's actually like a vial that you stab yourself with when you heal, and you get one charge unless the type heals you more. So and the gun manufacturers not only make guns or weapons, they also make your shields, and they make the healing canister that you inject yourself with, and there are various levels of those, and some have more charges, some have less. Some of the guns were reworked. Malawan guns used to charge up in Borderlands 3, and you had to do it, but they don't do that anymore. The order guns are the ones that now charge up and then release a giant a power shot. So I think they fixed that, and so yeah, so it's not a bad game. I've enjoyed it. Claptrap is still there, but they definitely have toned him down, and there is a slider where you can turn him down all the way. So I don't know if you can hear him or not, or whatever, but you can literally turn him down. I don't know what that means. I didn't do it. For me, Claptrap really wasn't that bad. His humor was okay. I didn't care for it too much, but it didn't really like kill my enthusiasm for Borderlands 3. But he's there, and as you go into the open world, it kind of reminds me. It's like Gearbox mixed up they mixed up Destiny with what's that one game? Oh my
God. Far Cry?
What was that? Far Cry. Yes, thank you. It's like they mixed Far Cry with Destiny, and this is the game, because as you're going through, you are liberating these areas, and you're getting these abandoned outposts, and they become your fast travel around, and then you have a speeder and this and that. So, but I don't know. I'm having fun with it. I do agree with Joe that if they really could have pushed the graphics a little harder. But Borderlands has that sort of over the top, what is it? Cell shaded kind of look to it. But it's not bad. Like overall, it's not bad. I have been having fun with it. I've not had any problems or slowdowns or anything on my PlayStation 5. It runs fine. And yeah, I'm waiting for Joe to catch up. And if Kev, you want to play too, that's great. We can have 4 players up there, and we can definitely play it together. I was telling Joe I need to prepare to play Borderlands with him, because he becomes a giant loot monkey when we're together. So so he basically he leads me around because he's going everywhere and anywhere to get loot. And so I'm just like, okay, so
I like to explore the map, sir. It's not the point of loot. It's exploring
no,
the portions
it's loot.
of the map.
It's
Come
loot.
on.
It's
It
loot.
is a looter shooter.
Yeah, and that's
So
why
that's half of the game, right?
Exactly. So that's why I temper my expectations, and I know that I have to allow. When you play with certain people, you gotta allow allowances for their eccentricities. Their thoughts and what they want to do and how they enjoy the experience. So I just kind of take a deep breath and I sign on, and then we play Destiny. So we play Borderlands. It's fine.
Yeah, except I know during that last portion of Borderlands 3 when we were playing,
I was done.
Yeah,
I was done. Sorry, sir. I was done. I was like, can we just beat this already? Yeah, sorry. But this one seems to be a much more contained experience. I'll definitely say that. This it feels a lot more streamlined. Like all of your the stuff that you get to expand your backpack, your weapons, that's all in the hub now. You can do all that stuff, all your challenges, turning in your requests, like it's all there. Everything, it feels like everything has just been streamlined, to give you get you back into the game. And I like that. Like it really feels this time that they are, by them I mean Gearbox, is respecting your time a lot more. And I like that. And the gunplay is snappy. I am looking forward to playing with other people. And yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. I'm on my way to the next mission location, and as you are running around, there are points of interest that you can go to and see what's going on there, and it's kind of fun. I'm enjoying it, so I'll continue to play it.
I'm checking Randy Pitchford's X account right now, and I guess they are working on a FOV slider for consoles. So,
oh, cool. I didn't have a problem with it. I do think that this is the only game that the sensitivity is really, really stiff at 100%. Like at 100%, it's really stiff. And I usually have to turn sensitivity down on games, and I did it, and it felt like I was moving sluggish, so much so that I had to turn it up, a little bit. So that's one thing when you start playing it. At least I had to, because I was like, I can't whip around and move around like I used to. So, but other than that, I think it's a fun game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I know that whenever folks want to play it, we'll play it, and we'll get through it. So, but back to you, Jabroni. What else have you been playing, buddy?
That's it. That is it. That's been my week. So,
cool.
Since you want to talk about what else you've been playing, Des?
Sure. So the only other things that I've been playing is I've started playing this little Metroidvania that I found for $5 on a PSN sale. It's called Blast Brigade, and it's this very, very bright and colorful, comical Metroidvania, and you play secret agents stopping this nefarious doctor something and the nefarious evil or something, and you get shipwrecked on his island, and you're running around trying to save your comrades and destroy these the evil brigade, the evil doctor something. His name is Dr. Cream or something. I don't know, it's really weird, but it's a very silly
Cream?
Yeah, I think it's Dr. Cream or something, but it's Cream stands for something, but and Brigade for Blast Brigade stands for something too. So there's acronyms. So it's a funny not superhero. It's a funny spy kind of spoof. And the main guy you're playing is a guy named Jeff Jefferson, and the enemy's constantly making fun of his name. And he's the dumb action hero, but the artwork is great. It's very clear. It's crystal clear. It's everything is very sharp. It's just a very fun little game, and it has circular movement. So you move with the left joystick, and then you move around your gun with the right joystick, and you hold the trigger to shoot. And so you can basically aim in 360-degree directions, which is really kind of cool. But it the movement is very, very slick and it's very, very tight, and I really like this. But it's definitely a Metroidvania, but it doesn't. I don't think it's going to be that long. But just the look of it and unlocking the people seems to be funny, and some of the dialogue is pretty silly. And the main guy that you play as, Jeff, is just this silly, over the top action hero type guy who's always getting into trouble and stuff. So, but it's been fun. I'm enjoying it. I basically put it on just to kind of like decompress and just kind of like feel better. And the other game that I got, I actually bought Star Wars Outlaws. I did. I actually bought it, and for whatever reason, I wanted to play a Star Wars game, and it was cheap on sale, and so I purchased it, and I started playing it. And
what platform are you playing on it?
PlayStation 5, of course.
Oh, okay.
Buy it on Steam or anything. I bought it on PlayStation 5.
I was kind of curious if you bought the Switch 2 version. So No,
I did not buy the Switch 2 version. I bought the PlayStation 5 version, and that's been sort of fun. Like I like the world of Star Wars, and I like how you are running around and doing stuff in it, and it really has a pretty interesting story set around like mafia and criminal organizations, and I am really liking her as a protagonist, and I don't know, it's just kind of fun. Like I said, I'm still early in it, so I haven't really fully gotten to, I just started on like the main mission that's going to tie me to the main baddie. I'm thinking you do like a little test mission as you're running around, and then you got to get out of town fast because you screwed some people over, and so as you do as a criminal, and you're taking this like one last score, and it's the score that kind of like sets up the whole game. And so I don't know, I'm enjoying it so far. Again, it's a Star Wars game. I think the action is tight. That little critter that runs around with you, I like his gameplay is really kind of cool, and how you can interact with him and have him go and get stuff. It's very easy. It feels intuitive to do, and how you use him in combat to distract people because you can get easily overwhelmed. And yeah, it's been fun so far. So again, I don't know what the hoopla was about. I just saw it as on a sale and I bought it, and I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's weird. I actually like this one better than Jedi Richie Cunningham. So, and I really wanted to like that game, but this Jedi Outlaws or Star Wars Outlaws is pretty good so far. So I'll keep you updated and let you know how I feel, about it as we go along. But it's fun. I've been enjoying myself. So yeah, I'll kick it over to Kev. Kev, what have you been playing, buddy?
With what little time I've had, it's been a little bit of Helldivers 2, and really that's it. I don't have anything else to add than that. The only thing that I was hoping to be able to add to this week's show was that I finally was able to get into. I couldn't get into Tokon Fighting Souls, which still kind of chaps my hide, but I was able to get into the 2XKO beta. It's on Steam only for now. The console version of the demo is not going to launch until the game is actually available, but since it's free to play, there's no the wording when I first saw that didn't really make any sense. But for right now, the demo is only on PC through Steam and I think Epic. I think you can get it through both those stores, I think. But I got into the beta. I have a controller that I can use directly on PC without a Brooks or anything else. So I'm going to try to carve out some time today to get into it. Most of the functions, as I understand it from the full release, are present in the beta. That includes, your training and tutorials and all that other stuff. So I'll be able to get some time in and learn the moves of the team I'm going to start the game with. So I am definitely looking forward to that. again, like I've said before, if anybody would have told me I'd be hyped for a League of Legends games, I said they were completely insane. But here we are. But really, that's it. So that's all I have for my playlist. So we're going to move on to our next topic on the docket, and we have that being the main event. All right, Des, you got the mic, my friend.
All righty. So for our main event, we asked our and thanks, Kev. Appreciate that. So for our main event, we asked our listeners, hey, everybody, give us a question and we'll answer it. Because this is a podcast that for the community, by the community, and we wanted to have your voices heard and see if you had any questions for us. So one of our listeners came through, Goonie, and asked this question. Considering how many people jumped into Silksong without playing Hollow Knight and are now coming to terms with how hard the game is, what are some of the most difficult games you guys have beaten? And what games have you played that surprised you with their difficulty? And to start off, I'm going to kick it off with Kev, because I know Kev goes out and he plays like Ninja Gaiden and he plays all those super hard games, you know, like a complete boss. I don't. So, but I wanted to see Kev, like, what are some of the ones that you know, super hard games that you've beaten, or ones that you were just like, man, why is this so hard? Or even ones that have game spikes that you were just like, damn.
So I will say without a doubt it's going to be the Ninja Gaiden series 1, 2, and 3 on the original Xbox, because that's when my reflexes were the best. I also beat the Hurricane Pack. That was some DLC that came out with was it the first Ninja Gaiden? I think it was the first Ninja Gaiden. I think that was on 360, or might have been the original Xbox. I can't remember if DLC was first console was introduced with the first or the second Xbox. I can't remember. But I beat the Hurricane Pack. That was like that was chuck your controller across the room, smash it. It was way harder than Ninja Master on the regular Ninja Gaiden game. And it was just like a series of scenarios where you were stuck with a weapon and overwhelmed by enemies. Well, you know, as far as what the original Xbox could muster. I know the modern systems today can throw out way more enemies at a single time, but man, because I think what made it so hard was because they did not even adjust the camera. The camera was still trash. And I'm sorry, as much as I love Ninja Gaiden, that camera was absolute garbage. That was your other enemy, aside from the black Ninja Spider Clan. The other enemy you were fighting in Ninja Gaiden 1 and to a lesser degree in 2 was that damn camera, because it was not your friend. I can't tell you how many times I was mollywopped from an enemy that I did not see spawn into the screen. There were no arrows or prompts that would tell you, hey, watch your 6. You got somebody getting ready to attack you. No. You had to fight that camera just as hard as you had to do with everything else that came at you. So I'm going to say it. And 2, Ninja Gaiden 2, I think was not as hard as the first one, primarily because the camera was not as bad as was not fighting you as hard. But 3, and as much as I think Ninja Gaiden 3 was trash, because it was trash. I'm not talking about Razor's Edge, which, but
I don't mean to laugh.
I'm not talking. Oh, it's funny. It's funny because
that voice.
I bought the dumbass edition of Ninja Gaiden 3. I still have the statuette that it came with somewhere in my garage. And because I'm like, man, you can't tell me that they didn't, that they are going to, or they are not going to, or that they are not going to destroy this franchise the way they did in 3. I refuse to listen to the reviews. I said, these are the same people that thought God Hand was trash. They don't know nothing about action games. I'm going to go ahead and buy the dumbass edition, and I'm going to sit here and be happy. I finished that game. I remember I just finished working a double shift at the job I was working at the time. I had I that morning I had the day off. That following morning I went to GameStop, picked the game up, and I'm like, I don't want to hear from nobody. I'm playing Ninja Gaiden 3. I stuck that game into my PS3, and I'm like, what did they do to my boy? I mean, it's broken boss fights, whack ass enemies, no blood. I mean, it's like, what are you doing? And it's like, no, this game has got to get better. This game has got to get better. And I one-shotted that game on the high. I can't remember. I don't think Ninja Master was open when you first started. There was a level, the high artist difficulty available. I could be wrong, but I started it at the hardest difficulty available. And I played that game from that morning to late that night until I rolled credits, just hoping that it would get better. It didn't. It got steadily freaking worse. And I just felt so dejected, and I was like personally hurt that they would do me this way with this game. I'm like, oh man, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with Team Ninja. I'm done with no. I felt that this was now Ninja Gaiden 4 looks like they're back on track. I'm hoping that they are. Now if the reviews come out, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. If the reviews come out and they say, this game is not good, I'm still gonna buy it because I'm a sucker and a fool for Ninja Gaiden. So it is highly possible that I may be opening myself up for a it's like that toxic relationship. How many times do I gotta get hit and get a black eye, broken nose? I'm still going back to her, baby. I'm sorry, it's me, not you. So I'm going to do the same thing. But from what I've seen of Ninja Gaiden 4, it looks pretty badass. So I feel much more confident going into 4 than 3. But as for the difficulty games, I will wear the Ninja Gaiden crown still as a personal accomplishment for myself of one of the hardest games, or at least in a series that I've completed. So that's kind of like my personal achievement.
Alrighty. So from the man himself, Goonie, who asked the question, he responded, I usually bounce off harder games unless I really get into the core gameplay loop or combat. I appreciate challenges and the joy of learning the mechanics and patterns of a fight, but I don't enjoy just slamming my head against the wall to make progress. The hardest game I beat was Dark Souls 3. Wow, you beat a Dark Souls game? Good for you, sir. After playing Dark Souls 1 and 2, I was dead set on beating 3, but each game's combat had been progressively faster. Midir broke me. I had to step away and come back several times over several days before I beat him. I understood Midir's attack patterns, but the lack of reaction time on my part, his massive health bar, fighting the camera, and weird hitbox made it feel impossible. Honestly, the run I beat him was more luck than skill. Aldrich and the Demon Prince were also incredibly hard fights for me. Yeah, To bounce off to like echo what Goonie has said, I have played all the Dark Souls games. I have played the Demon Souls games. And I played Elden Ring, and I try very hard to play those games, and I try and I try and I try, but they are just not for me. Like I can understand that Bloodborne, all of those Souls like games, they're just I just can't do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know what, maybe my old man reflexes. I know that I probably could play them if I just devoted myself and dedication and trained for it. But I just ain't got that time, and I just don't want to do that. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm just happy playing the games that I know that I can play and enjoy and get through. And that sense of feeling that you get when you're able to overcome such a difficult boss. I have felt that before, and I just don't want that to be every encounter, from a game that I play. That's just a lot. That's just a lot. So for me, to answer your question, Cooney, I have to say that it was a lot of the classic like NES games, because I felt a lot of those games were very unforgiving, and there was one game that I was surprised by its difficulty, and I could not beat it. And that was the first Mega Man. And I tried like a long time to beat all of them, to beat that game. And back in the day, to beat a game back in the day without like a save slot or any of that other stuff, that was a feat. That was a feat. You had to sit down. You had to, plan your meal. You had to plan your bathroom. You had to make sure.
That was a one-shot deal.
Yeah, right? And it was like you had to like hope your mama didn't want nothing, because or like I was lucky because I didn't have any siblings, that I grew up with, so I could like leave my game paused and come back. But like if you had a sibling or something and they wanted to play, you come back, the game's turned off, or your mom would get mad at you and she turned off the system. So you had to be prepared. Like you needed to have like a Saturday evening, or a Sunday afternoon after church, where you could just sit down and play the game. And I'll never forget my friend Patrick he was spending the night. It was a Saturday night. But it was a Friday night. It was one of those, weekend nights. And we're sitting in my room and he's playing Mega Man. And then we had just learned the Elect Man trick where if you pause the game, the damage will go through him again multiple times. And so we cheesed him, right? So that was awesome. Felt great about that. Kudos to the kid or the kid who told us on the playground how to cheese that fight. Thank you. And then I proceeded to watch him go on and beat the rest of the game. And when that game was over, we were like, yeah, woo! Just super, super excited about that. So yeah, that was the game that I didn't beat it, but I was there when he beat it, and we had a lot of fun with that, and that was just like hell yeah. But the one game that I remember that I was surprised at how difficult it was, and then I ended up beating it, was Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo. I really cut my teeth on that one. Like that was a pretty, like, it's a good game in general, but it took a while to beat that one and to actually get everything going and feel really, really like confident. That was the game that I beat, and I was like, yeah, I could do anything, when I beat Super Metroid. It's one of my favorite games to this day, by the way. But yeah, that would be my game that I realized was a little bit harder than I expected, and then the hard game that I beat. And mostly it's Metrovanias that I play that I'm finding a little hard, and that's mostly just the timing of the jump and the shoot and stuff like that. So I find that Metrovanias can be a little bit more challenging for me, and I think that's as far challenging as I want to go. I don't play other games that are just gonna like infuriate me and stuff like that. Like I don't want that challenge. My blood pressure is too high already. I don't need to do all that. So, and then we had another response, and that was from John BT. And his was specifically about was about the whole Hollow Knight, Silk Song type of stuff. So I really liked what he had to say about it. So John BT says, this is a long-time listener, by the way, says, generally, I haven't loved hard games, so I haven't jumped into any Souls games. That's my man. But I love Metroidvanias, and I got very completionist on them. So that led me to some recent hard games. The ones that stand out are Hollow Knight, of course, Blasphemous 1 and 2, The Messenger, the later parts are intense, and Ender Lilies. All are fantastic. So, yeah, a man after my own heart. Also, Silk Song is amazing. Today they announced that they're nerfing some bosses. Well, I have passed those bosses, and I did it by learning their moves, tells, and adapting my combat strategy. One of them took me over 20 tries, but when I beat her, I did it without getting hit once. The other boss I beat with 1 health bar left. That's how it goes. So yeah, and again, if you're able to do that and actually sit down and take the time to study what's going on, in the move sets and the tells, I mean, that's really all it is pattern recognition when you think about it. If you're able to do that, great, 100%. So yeah, I'm down for that. Joe, buddy, take us home. What was a game or a game series, that's just been hard for you, and you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm too old for this.
Well, I'm thinking like even back in the day, I mean, I remember, especially NES era, some games really, I mean, for me, were just like egregiously hard on there. And I'm talking like Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, which I happened to persevere and push through and beat both of those. I've never played Ninja Gaiden 3 on the NES. That's something maybe I'll have to rectify on there. But sometimes, you play a game and the hitbox and the window is just too obtuse. Like I bounced off of Adventures of Link for one. I loved Legend of Zelda, but when Zelda 2 Adventure of Link came out, I was like, I wasn't getting the whole side-scrolling kind of combat of that game and whatnot. But other games from the NES era, especially like Blaster Master, Battletoads, especially.
Oh God,
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I remember Blaster Master, even though it was really easy to get into at the beginning, got really hard on there. So I never pushed through to beat that. But it depends on the game too. It's like some games you just want to kind of rinse and repeat, and after a while, you do get good. You get better. Your reaction time is better. Fast forward to like the Genesis era, and there are certain games on the Genesis that, oh my God, it's like I took the time to really kind of get into pattern recognition and whatnot, and like Ghouls and Ghosts was one of my favorite games. The Genesis version of that particular game, basically, it just really caused me to like try to get good on there. So Contra. Both Contra 3, Alien, and then especially Contra Hardcore on Genesis, both of those games kind of really put you to the test. And it's more like, okay, I'm constantly repeating the first level. You didn't have the ability to be able to obviously save or move on from that point with those games. And so, it's a point that you took the challenge on, and, you made good runs. It's almost playing a roguelike now, where if you made a really good run, you could go to beat most of the game. I remember, especially with Ghouls and Ghosts, I mean, for a playthrough, you're playing for hours with that game. I know with Ghouls and Ghosts too, you had to pick up a particular weapon off one of the creatures on there. And once you had that weapon, you actually had to beat the game twice, and have the second run, you'd have to retain that one weapon and not let it go. And so I never got a chance to really do the second run through of Ghouls and Ghosts, so it's kind of nuts in a way. For me now, though, I don't tend to push myself with harder games if need be on there. I do want to try, like, I remember playing Demon Souls on the PS3 back in the day when that game first came out, and I'm thinking I actually would enjoy it quite a bit to play a Souls game. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, where do I start? Do I start the original Demon Souls, the remake on PS5, or maybe dive into some Elden Ring and kind of go from there? But it just depends on the game, and if the gameplay is there and it hooks you, I have no problem playing a hard game. It just depends on the scenario and the type of game that I'm playing on there. Kev, would you consider God Hand to be like hard?
No,
thought it was
no,
fun,
God
but-
Hand's not hard. No,
Got it.
to me, like a modern example of a modern hard game outside of like Ninja Gaiden, you're talking like Sekiro.
Yeah.
You're talking like, and I'm kind of trying to exclude the Souls games from that equation. Sekiro is the one that really steps into the forefront in my mind because it was a game that, and I still have Sekiro. I have not finished it. That's kind of like one of my shames. It was one of the first modern games. When I say modern games, I say within the past, when did Sekiro come out? Like 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
It's been a while, yeah. It's
Yeah.
PS4.
It was one of the first games that what's today's term the kids use, crash out, that people's really crashing out on YouTube, like fighting a boss. And they were fighting folks that were past where I'm at in the game, and they were just like losing their ish. I mean, people throwing their controllers, and this was, in my opinion, before the staged rage content became the thing. And I kind of felt that they were really feeling that anxiety, that angst, So I by the way, does any of you guys play Batman for the NES by Sunsoft?
Yes, I did.
I dabbled with it, but yeah,
Okay.
I remember how hard that game.
Did any of you find that? Did any of you find that game particularly difficult?
Yes.
I did. Okay, I'm not the only one. Yeah,
Yes. It was.
yeah. That was another one that kind of made me like, it's Batman. I'm not supposed to be dying this much. And did any of you play Strider for the NES?
Oh, don't even get me started on Strider. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so
yeah.
hard? I'm a child. Stop it. I'm like, what are you doing? I am a child.
And my dumbass I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be just like the arcade. It's like, nope.
No, it was not, and it was hard as hell.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? Yeah, I really believe that back in the day when we were kids, and they were making these games, they were like, these kids will be fine.
Them kids.
Well, it was noted that some of these companies actually made the games harder because they were fearful that you would get it in a rental and basically, not buy the
wouldn't
game.
buy it.
So, yeah, so
That's annoying. So, like, I don't like that.
Capcom in particular, especially in the PS2 era, they made Onimusha, like the fourth Onimusha, Dawn of Dreams, especially hard because of the fact that they were fearful that people would beat it too easily. You could actually go and get the Japanese version of that game, and it's considerably easier than the actual retail game that came out for the US and for
That's hilarious.
Europe. So there's actually different difficulties depending on the region that the game is released in. So
that's annoying, though.
So,
like, I am not a fan.
I never played the NES Strider actually because I
really
waited.
Oh yeah,
I played the Superior Genesis version.
Yeah, it was
definitely
superior because I'm like, why do I have to get items to make Strider climb this wall? Why does he need magnetic boots? I don't remember none of this in the arcade game.
Yeah, same thing with Bionic Commando and all those other games.
Oh my god!
It's like, why are you like this? Stop.
Why are you? Yeah. Oh my god!
Yeah. When you talk about Bionic Commando NES, or you talk about the arcade?
NES.
NES. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think that game was egregiously hard or anything.
Well, good for you, Joe.
I played it at a friend's house, and I'm thinking it's going to be like the again.
I like the arcade.
I'm expecting arcade. I'm not expecting it to look like the arcade, but it's like when I played Russian Attack in the arcade and I got Russian Attack on the NES, it was the same game. Didn't look as good, but it was the same game. And that's kind of like what I'm like ColecoVision brain, like Coleco bringing the arcade home to you. If I see your game has the same name as the game I played in the arcade and I bring it home, I expect it to play like that.
Exactly.
And some of these games did not.
Mm-mm.
And I felt bamboozled and led astray by some of them.
I'm the opposite because Bionic Commando on the NES is superior to the actual arcade, in my opinion. But
I don't think
wanna
so.
go. No, I think so. No, if you we're back to play Bionic Commando arcade,
No, I like the arcade version. Sorry.
I actually I'm gonna N64 this bitch and say that Bionic Commando in the arcade was straight ass trash.
Wow.
Trash.
It was not one of my favorites. It was not one of my favorites, but
it was not trash.
I didn't think I thought it was like quarter stealing difficult. That at least the ones that I played at a couple of different arcades I played, but I liked it. It wasn't my favorite game, but I liked it. But then I'm like, okay, I got to collect power ups. I got to find hidden place. I'm like, this ain't what I signed up for. You know, I didn't buy the game. I was at a friend's house, and I'm like, man, this ain't Bionic Commando. You know,
it was not.
This ain't Strider. I mean, I finished Strider on the NES because I was like, you know, number one, I was mad because I couldn't afford a Genesis to get the real version, and I was like, you know what? I have the game. I'm going to, and I found a certain level of fun with Strider on the NES, but it's like, I hated that when I would now there were some games that were better, you know, like Super Dodgeball on the NES is way better in my opinion than the arcade version. So for me that there are exceptions to that hard rule, but when you give me that arcade name and you say, hey, you can bring it home, I'm expecting it to be like the arcade game. You know,
agree.
Another game
just me, though.
Another game in that same wheelhouse. I enjoyed this game at the arcade, not like Bionic Commando. Rygar. I enjoyed Rygar at the arcade.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
NES version, superior. I love the NES version of Rygar.
I have not played the NES version of Rygar. I've only played the arcade.
It's not bad.
It's really good. It's really good. In fact, it's one of my favorites during the NES era, so NES Rygar. So, you know, it had a lot more meat to it, you know. Arcade Rygar, you're basically
it's just running left and right.
Yeah. But
good game.
Otherwise, I mean, we'll see for me in the future as far as what difficult games, you know, I choose to play. You know, kind of go from there. I mean, I'm kind of really interested in a From type game. I mean, I remember playing Kingsfield 1 back in the day on PlayStation 1, and I actually took the time to try to like kind of figure it out, to figure out where I was going with. I don't know if you guys, if you've played any of the Kingsfield games or not.
I have not.
But they're kind of similar to, like, could be considered like a modern day, like, Souls in a way. So
never played them.
Yeah. But, you know, maybe, who knows, maybe we'll try a difficult side scroller or something, kind of go from there and get my reflexes up a bit. But
the reflex,
you got it. Maybe if they bring out a Beautiful Joke like collection or something, that might be something.
I would love that.
That's
another game I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So.
I also need to finish Returnal because that game was extremely difficult. It was harder than I thought it was going to be, but it was so much fun. I need to get back into that game and complete it.
Cool. Well, all right then. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time, and thank you again, Goonie, for your question. Like I said, we said a couple episodes ago, regarding the main event, if we have something that we want to talk about, that's what we're going to use our main event for. But we also want to use it for questions. And if you have any questions out there, either listening on YouTube or on any of the podcast aggregate stations, or wherever you find us, please mention it in the comments if you have any questions. And we will take it to our community and we will ask them and we will answer your question. And if you want to know another way of how you can do that by joining the Discord, please stay till the end. And Kevin will let you know how to do that. But that's all for me. And you know what follows me? It's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thank you, Des.
You're welcome, Joe.
All right, so we're going to cover in the Jabroni Gaming News, basically the big thing this past week was the Nintendo Direct that just happened. So Nintendo Direct was quite meaty. In fact, it was the longest in length Nintendo Direct ever on there. So there was a lot of information that was kind of covered. So they led off the Direct with a lot of announcements relating to Super Mario Brothers 40th anniversary. So they first talked about the Super Mario Galaxy, the movie, being produced by, is it Magic? I'm trying to remember the name of the Illumination.
Illumination.
Yeah, Illumination on there. So that is going to be the Super Mario Galaxy movie. It's April 2026 on there. And in celebration of the movie announcement, they did announce Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 is going to be released for. So they're coming out on, looks like here sometime in October on there. There's also going to be some amiibos released as well on there. So it's coming out actually, it's coming out February 10th on there. So I thought it was coming out sooner. Maybe this article's not correct in that. Let's do some super sleuthing here on the fly on here. So.
I think it's cool. I enjoyed the movie. I'll definitely go see the second one. If you haven't seen the movie, it was great. At least I thought it was. I enjoyed it. So
yeah.
So
it is coming out in October. I did confirm that date, so I'm not sure why this article says it's coming out on February 10th. I think the amiibos might be coming out on that date. So on there, but I don't know if you already either of you two bought the Super Mario 3. Where it had Super Mario Galaxy 1 in there, but did not include 2, and now they are releasing 1 and 2 for the Switch. And of course, the retail value of the Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 bundle is $70 freaking dollars. So I don't know.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't know that was coming.
Yeah, I know. I'm on the fence. I don't know about you guys. I mean, I already have Super Mario 2 physical Wii. I have the game. I could play it. I could walk in my game room, hook up my Wii U, and play the game. So I'm not sure if I want to pay $70 for the privilege, because I already have Super Mario Galaxy 1 on that Mario collection that I pick up on there. So I wasn't sure, Des, with your Switch affinity, if that's something that is a day one get for you.
It's definitely not a day one get for me, but I definitely will be picking it up. Just FYI.
Well, the problem because the Super Mario 3D collection, nowadays they made it a limited print. So basically, because they made it a limited, every time Dick and Harry pick, thinking additional money to come up. And right now in the resellers market, that physical collection, that Super Mario 3D World collection, is around $200, like the Switch.
Glad I kept it.
Yeah. So a lot of people are kind of.
That's the reason I bought mine. I didn't even unwrap it.
That's even better. Fact,
I didn't even unwrap it. Honestly, I thought that was but see, the thing is that when I bought that, I was thinking, I'll see about it, at some point, and I just put in my stack of Switch games and just forgot about it, and it's unwrapped. I hadn't really looked. I didn't know it was going for $200, because for a long time that game was everywhere I went. It was at Target, it was at Best Buy, it was at GameStop. So
I'm
I'm like,
correcting
where's the rarity here?
I know at GameStop they're charging more for it, but according to price charting, it is new going for $104, complete $90. So it's not as egregious
Mhm.
as that. I know at GameStop, I think they're charging like $119.09 for it pre-owned. So it's like
Mhm.
that's why it's like, okay, do I buy this now before it's more expensive later? How bad do I want to play Super Mario Galaxy 2? You know, the first world problems, I guess, right? So
Is this supposed to be a limited run too?
it's supposed to be, yeah.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we'll have to see. So, also announced Super Mario Mario Tennis Fever was announced. So this is coming out in February 12th on Switch 2. Looks a lot more meatier than the Mario Tennis came out for the Switch 1. On there, this is being developed by Camelot, so it's the same development team that did the Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch. Camelot, if you hadn't known, had done a lot of development. In fact, they're the original developers of the Shining Force series, actually, and the original developer of Hot Shots Golf. So, but I'm there for it day one with this Mario Tennis Fever because there's even an adventure mode that's in the game. So, Dez, are you going to be there day one for Mario Tennis Fever?
I don't know. It really depends. If you're gonna buy it, I probably will be because I want to.
Going to be planning on buying it day one. I haven't really kind of, like Dez said, I've been a Switch 2 hater. It's not me hating. I haven't found the time to really dedicate some time to play the system, and so I think a good Mario Tennis game would probably get me into the mix. So.
Yeah, this will probably get me to buy the system.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, I loved Mario Tennis on the GameCube. It was probably one of outside of the X-Wing. What was that? That X-Wing game that they had,
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron. Outside of Rogue Squadron, I really enjoyed the heck out of Mario Tennis. And the last Mario Tennis on the Switch was such a disappointment. So if this one can kind of recapture the magic of the original one, I'll be joining Switch 2 gang reluctantly sometime next year.
We'll welcome you with open arms, Kev.
It's kind of funny that I was going to ask you with another game later on. I'm going over the Direct. I would figure with the new Hyrule Warriors game that you might have been there day one with that game. So.
Well, since they showed the Mario Tennis trailer before that, that's when I said, okay, I guess I'm in. I mean, the Hyrule Warriors, and I'm assuming that the other ones play at a steady 60 frames per second. They better.
They play better, yeah, they do.
Okay. And I need to have my Bayonetta 3 running at crisp 60 frames as well. I haven't done the research to find out how that plays out, but Mario Tennis was the game, and I was kind of on the fence with Kirby Air Ride because I'm a sucker for Kirby games. I have been. Kirby is actually my favorite Nintendo mascot. Don't judge me, but I really, really, really like the Mario Tennis on the GameCube. And that was one of the reasons why that is one of the reasons I regret to this day getting rid of that system was that game, because I played a ton of it.
All right, good deal. Okay, so another Mario game that was announced was Super Mario Brothers Wonder. They're bringing out a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of the game on there, so that's coming out in spring 2026. They're also doing an expansion called Meetup in Bellabelle Park. It looks like there's some multiplayer elements to the game that they're adding to as well, which is kind of cool. on there. So, but they also, for whatever reason, the talking flowers in that game, they are bringing out a physical talking flower as well, coming out.
I wish they weren't.
Of 2026. Well, for the people that want to buy it, I mean, so it's like, I know some people that played that game previously didn't like the constant chitter chatter, and I didn't like it as well. I know one person's solution was that they put the basic language of the flower into a different language. So you did get to actually understand what they're stating or talking about. I think there was one podcast I was listening to saying they put the flower in Norwegian, so the flower would talk Norwegian, basically. But then, last but not least, to round out the Mario section of the Nintendo Direct this time, they announced a new Yoshi game. So Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is coming out in spring 2026 for Switch 2. On there, I guess the talking book known as Mr. E. On there, you're tasked with jumping inside of him and then covering the many discoveries in the book. So I thought the game would look pretty good. I like the art direction with that particular game. So it looks like a really cute platformer. I don't know if you dare day one with that, Des, or not.
I might be. I'm a fan of Yoshi, and I was a fan of Yoshi's Island, so maybe I will be.
Got it. All right, and then further on the Direct, I'm not going to cover here because there's quite a bit of stuff on there. If there's anything you guys want to cover, not covering, definitely let me know. One thing they did announce a release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, which is coming out on January 22nd on the Switch 2. On there, Hades 2, they have given an official date, so it's launching on September 25th digitally for both PC and Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. If you want the physical for Hades 2, it's going to be out on November 20th. On there, they did advertise saying that the game will play 120 frames per second when docked on there. So they did announce a Kirby Air Riders release date. So Kirby Air Riders will be releasing on November 20th. They have some amiibo being released for Kirby Air Riders as well. On there, you get both Kirby and the Warp Star, and the Bandana Waddle Dee and the Wing Star. And what they showed in the Direct is that you could actually mix and match between the rider and the vehicle on both of those amiibo on there. If you want either of those two amiibo, the price of the amiibo is $50 for.
Damn!
Make you holler.
$50.
Good grief!
It's because it's a pretty big amiibo, but yeah, I don't know business. So
$50?
$50, yeah. I even put it up in the Discord because I was like, oh, that's great. So yeah, there's a Reddit thread talking about Kirby Air Riders. $50 each. So
that's assuming you can find it.
We'll see. I love the fact that I don't know if you guys have been following the Switch 2 launch amiibos. They released like 4 Tears of the Kingdom Zelda amiibos, and then all Street Fighter amiibos. They released them at a higher retail price than normal. They're currently sitting at like discounted price at GameStop right now. So. So, like a lot of the Street Fighter 6 amiibo, they were originally $39.99. They're on discount right now for $20. So, I think Nintendo might be seeing where their quote unquote bread is buttered with some of these amiibo.
Yeah. Their first party amiibos are going to be where the money's at.
Exactly.
All right. Next thing that got talked about is another trailer for Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. So, and included in the game you are Korok. So if you ever want to play it with Korok, spitting out like, seeds and whatnot, you could do so. They also had something where you can perform sync strikes with your allies on there. And then the game supports online and split screen co-op as well as game share. So like if I show up at Kev's house with a copy of Age of Imprisonment, you could play it up to 4-player with 1 game card. So it's kind of cool on there. So the game's coming out November the 6th on there. So is this a day one get for you, Kev?
Probably won't be a day one because I probably won't be getting the system until February or until the new year. Um, but what I will probably be doing is using not that Nintendo games go on sale, even for Black Friday, but I usually have a few extra ducats to scratch together. So I will probably start building my Switch 2 library during the next few months and just kind of wait until the new year when Mario Tennis drops and then get the console at that point. I mean, I'm not even going to try and scramble to get a console, you know, close to the end of the year. It's, I mean, maybe if I kind of walk, because I still haven't seen a Nintendo Switch in the wild. A Switch 2 in the wild. I've been to Walmart several times, and I've been to like Best Buy a couple of times. I still have not seen that console in the wild yet. So
I've seen them in the wild, but
yeah,
I would have to count on one hand, kind of thing. So, but when you do get one, are you going to hold back on buying any cards, or are you there for whatever you're going to buy, whatever you're going to buy, physical, no matter what?
Well, I'm not buying any third party on this console. I mean, I'm going to treat the Switch 2 like I treated the Switch 1. It's primarily for first party and exclusive content. You know, I ain't playing the next Resident Evil on this thing.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense when I have much better options available. But I am probably going to use this time leading up to the end of the year and Christmas season to start kind of building out my Switch 2 library, so that by the time Mario Tennis drops, that's really of all the games that I want to get, I will have already kind of, you know, built my library, and I'm just getting the hardware and maybe one game.
Good deal. Next game they unveiled on the Direct was Dragon Quest VII Reimagine. So that's coming out on February the 5th. It is coming out for multiple platforms. So it's coming out for PlayStation, PC, Switch 2 on there. I know some Switch fans were squawking because of the fact that you can't upgrade the Switch 1 version to Switch 2 that Square Enix again has not given the ability to be able to upgrade to the Switch 2 version of that game. Game's also a game key card, so a lot of people were squawking the fact that it should be just the actual game card itself on there. So, Des, you want to say goodbye before you go?
Yes. So sorry, friends. I have another engagement that I have to go to, but Kev and Joe will continue on. Just know that I really liked this in Nintendo Direct, and I'm probably going to get Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection when it comes out. I'll talk to you all later. Bye, guys.
Have a good one, man.
Have a good one. All right. Next thing that was announced, which was kind of crazy, came out of the blue, but the Virtua Boy. The Virtua Boy is coming to Nintendo Switch Online with expansion pack. So
I did not see this one coming.
No,
I did not see this one coming at all.
Okay, well, guess what? If you want to play the Virtua Boy and it's a full plastic glory, you could buy a accessory for this. The accessory basically allows you to slot in either a Switch 1 or Switch 2 into the casing of the Virtua Boy, and you could play it like you did back in the day over a desk, over having back problems and whatnot. So,
does it still burn out your retinas?
We'll see. I don't know. They're also offering a cheaper cardboard version of the accessory for a fraction of the price. So.
They're bringing back. What was that, Labo? Was that Labo? What was their cardboard?
Yeah, Labo's their card. Yeah. So if you get the cardboard version, which is basically just like someone out in the back made a homemade cardboard cutout so you could like slip your Switch in or Switch 2 in, You could do that. They're actually charging $24.99 for the version of Virtual Boy
My
accessory.
word.
So if you want to get the full version, the actual replica of the Virtual with the stand and the whole shot, $99.99. So
Actually, that's not. I'm actually shocked. I was expecting that thing to come in at like 150 plus. Honest to goodness,
yeah,
I'm
but someone,
shocked at a sub $100 price for that.
yeah. So well, we'll have to see how this works. I own a Virtual Boy.
I'm actually tempted to get it because I never had a Virtual Boy. I kind of wanted one. They had Mario Tennis on there. I can't remember if people said it was good or not, but
I liked it. I actually own one. It's in my closet, my game room closet. I had Mario Tennis. Red Alarm was my favorite game for the system. So
Red Alarm. Okay,
yeah, I'm
so
not even sure.
I kind of low
Red Alarm.
key want this. And for $100, it's kind of in that impulse buy range for me.
Well, the problem is you have to get the online, the Nintendo Switch Online and expansion pack membership. So
That's where they get you. Okay.
yeah. So it's coming a part of the games because if you're not aware, the expansion pack has like NES games, Super NES games, Genesis games, N64 games, and Game Boy Advance games, and now they do have Virtual Boy games. So so it's all part of the. Maybe we'll have to talk to the Des and add you to our family membership because you could get up to, I think, the 4 people on the family membership. So, but they have like Tellero Boxer, Galactic Pinball. Doesn't look like they have. Yeah, Red Alarm is that as well. So, and I love that game. So imagine playing like a game like Zaxxon, but 3D on there. So that was basically Red Alarm. So.
Have pre-orders started for this?
It's available, but you have to be a member. I'm not sure if it's started yet or not. I'll have to check, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, because you actually have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member for you to be able to go online and pre-order this thing. It's only being sold through Nintendo themselves. So
okay.
Just like with the other online.
Kind of like what they did with the Amiibo. No, I mean not the Amiibo, but that alarm clock, Alarmo.
Alarmo, and they did it with like the GameCube controller that came out when the Switch 2 came out as well. So, all right. Further on in the Direct, this is coming out from other platforms as well. Tecmo Koei is bringing out a Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly remake. So that's coming out in early 2026 on there. So not only you'll be able to buy that on Switch 2, but also on PlayStation and PC on there. Hopefully Xbox. Maybe they'll throw them a bone. We'll see. So they announced some Nintendo Switch 2 editions coming out. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is being updated for the Nintendo Switch 2. There's also, they already, long time ago, Bandai Namco announced that they're going to be releasing Pirate Warriors 4 versions for both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series consoles. So this is going to be part of the update that they do for that. With the popularity of One Piece now, I think in there, they are going to think they're going to make some money. So we'll have to see about that. Because there's going to be, they still have been releasing Pirate Warriors 4, and it's gotten increasingly popular. So Stardew Valley for Nintendo Switch 2's split screen and game share abilities. That's coming out in autumn 2025. Let's see what else. Metroid Prime 4 got a glow up. So basically they got a unveiling of a Tron-like bike on there. So you're able to use
for Akira's bike.
Yep. You'll be able to use the bike to go traverse it looks like this game might be open world a little bit. So, the game's going to be released. They got a release date finally, November the 4th. There's new amiibos coming, including Samus and Vo'ola, which is the bike on there, and Silex, one of will be coming out for that. So, and probably the Samus and the bike is probably going to be $50, just like the Kirby Air Rider. So,
Nintendo getting you every which way. And the thing
Donkey
is
Kong,
crazy, they know they can get it. They know they can get that money.
for
Can't really
for the
blame
most fervent Nintendo fans, I like Amiibo. I like to display them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one to go out and buy every Amiibo. I'm sorry, there's too many. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if it's for a game I really like and the game character I like, then maybe, I'm looking at my desk right now. I got like a Boo amiibo on my desk, like a Super Mario Boo amiibo, but happened to buy it on like a sale, so $10 or like $8. Amiibos should be like an impulse buy. Some of these prices, they're not an impulse buy. I could tell you that
They're
right now.
not.
But,
Not for that kind of product. No, they are not. I have Bowser and I have Kirby from when the Amiibos first came out, and I just have them sitting on my shelf. But those are the only two that I really wanted because it's Kirby and Bowser. Those are I didn't get any of the other ones, but I got them, and it's like, okay. I think even what were they when? What was the price of these things when they first came out? Weren't they at like $25-$30?
no, they weren't that high. They were
They
like
weren't high? Okay.
I think $15.99, maybe $19.99.
Okay.
So yeah, they were reasonably priced. So
Yeah. Not anymore,
Donkey Kong
apparently.
Bonanza is getting some paid DLC, which came out the day of the direct. So they unveiled DK Island and Emerald Rush. So DK Island adds a hub island for you to interact, and then the Emerald Rush offered a roguelike game on top on there. So it's like you're on a timer and you're doing runs to grab as much emeralds as you possibly can within the time limit on there. So if you want more to do with Donkey Kong Bonanza, by all pick that up. That DLC is like $20. So, and then also they had some Pokemon news. So Pokemon Pokepia was announced. It looks like a kind of a life sim slash Stardew Valley-esque game with Pokemon involved. This game looks like you remember that wonderful game that copied Pokemon to its day. Trying to remember the name of it.
Oh yeah, the one with the guns. They gave him guns,
Yeah.
and yeah, I can't remember the name of it either.
Yeah, but this looks like a very like cozy type game with Pokemon, which is kind of cool. So, and then Pokemon Legends ZA is getting Mega DLC on there with Mega Raichu and Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y on there. I know someone was commenting the fact that damn, Nintendo got deep because they're announcing like DLC for a game that hadn't been released yet. So it's like they ain't playing. So
They're saying get that wallet ready.
you got it. Also, they had some roundups here. Danganronpa 2+2 is due to release in 2026. So this is basically going to add additional story to the original Danganronpa 2 on there with the new scenarios depending on story choices on there. That's also coming out for PC. Dynasty Warriors Origins is getting a Switch 2 port coming out on January 22nd, and paid DLC launching the same day on both the Switch 2 and other platforms. On there, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection is coming out on March 13th on there. So this is like the Monster Hunter cross Pokemon type game that was brought out originally prior for the Nintendo 3DS on there. So they really, with this game, kind of grew the main character up and made it not so kitty-like with this one. So I would say this probably is definitely worth your time if you're interested in Monster Hunter.
My niece liked the first stories I got that for her for Will that come out on the DS?
On the
Nintendo
3DS,
DS,
yeah.
3DS, yeah. I got that for Christmas one year, and she really loved it.
Yeah. If you wanting to play through those games, they have subsequently released them for like Switch, PS4, PS5, and also on PC. So I'm thinking they're looking at that money on there. So, and especially with Monster Hunter Wilds not doing so hot, might give people another way to go and, experience more Monster Hunter in their lives. So, Disguise 7 Complete is releasing on October 10th. Me and Desmond took a look at that game. Well, I think Desmond's interested on there. Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World winner for Switch. So if you do want to get your fight on there, I'm kind of waiting to see if Namco releases Tekken 8 and maybe other people will take a look to see as far as releasing more fighters on the Switch too. But that's not the platform I probably want to play those on if need be. But
no, it definitely is not for me.
Yeah. Persona 3 Reload is coming to the Nintendo Switch October 23rd. There was a demo that was released the day of the Nintendo Direct on there. And then they rounded up the Direct with Resident Evil Requiem being announced for Switch 2. They're also releasing both Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8 Gold Editions on February 27th. So they're all coming out the same day. A lot of Resident Evil Life, just in case. So see if Capcom makes money off this or not. I don't know if... I know in Japan they're going to have a lot of people buying these games, but for the West, not sure about that business. And then last but not least, they announced a new Fire Emblem game. Fortune's Weave was announced in 2026. This is from Intelligent Systems on there. Looks like there's some characters from Fire Emblem Three Houses that are back. So this is like a kind of a pseudo sequel to that particular Fire Emblem title. So overall, pretty meaty Nintendo Direct. They basically took any uncertainty of what they were doing for the next 6 months to a year and kind of basically brought the receipts on there. So
Yeah, they did.
Any thoughts, or you have a letter grade for this one? I mean, it sounds like to me you're interested in Switch again. So I mean,
Yeah, I'll probably give this like somewhere like maybe A minus, B plus. I'll give it an A minus because it convinced me that the system is worth getting now. With regards to them showing off Mario Tennis. I'm still not happy with the way they're doing things with this console. I mean, that's not going to change, but personally, I just needed to see more games that I was interested in playing before I felt it would be worth to make the investment, considering the price increase from the original console. So I think I've seen that, and like I said, I'm gonna start building my library now, and when at some point when I can stroll into a store and grab the console, that's what I'll do probably, and I'm probably looking at some in February, early the first quarter next year, before I get the hardware. Just kind of spread out the expense over a longer period of time. So I can just start playing the games I want to play when I get the hardware. So
yeah, what I'll do after the show's over, I'll send you the link to the Resetera Switch 1 on Switch 2 thread that basically goes over, and it's all like submitted readings as far as what the Switch 1 game does on Switch 2 if it plays at a higher frame rate and so on and so forth. So
okay.
On there, that way you have at least a point of reference. I think everything that you want is going to play better on Switch 2. I'm not sure if it's going to be fully at 60 frames, but there might be a thing where VR might kill if that's the case. So, All right, and then want to cover some. So one thing that went outside of the Nintendo Direct, Capcom have announced a new Mega Man collection. So Mega Man Star Force Legacy Forever every system under the sun, including PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Though this compiles all of the Mega Man Star Force games that originally came out for the Nintendo DS. So this is, if you want to take Mega Man Battle Network with a lot of the like Pokemon-esque card battling-esque systems of that, Mega Man Star Force Legacy bringing out the card trading battling action. So this includes all of the different versions, because in the end this incorporates like 3 different games, but Capcom got crazy and released like 3 different games of the first game, first Star Force game, and then 2 different versions of Star Force 2, Star Force 3, which had different trading cards and different items you can get in each game. So for the collectors out there, definitely this compiles everything into one collection, so you don't have to break the bank on there. So I know Des was kind of interested in this one because he told me that he hadn't played any of the Mega Man Star Force games. So this is definitely something out there for the completionists out there, for sure. So also too, Panzer Dragoon 2 Zwei got the remake of that game, got confirmed for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So this is being done by Megapixel Studio and Storm Trident. It's being published by Forever Entertainment. I'm hoping they do a better job this time. So, this is going to be playable at the Tokyo Game Show on there. I don't know if Kev, if you had the opportunity to play Dragoon, the remake.
I didn't play the remake. I had the original for the Saturn.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah,
I had the domestic one. I tell you, man, I every time I think about the games that I had for that it just makes me sad. I did not play the remake, so I don't have anything to base this on. So this would probably be a game that I would take into consideration reviews before purchasing it, since I did not buy the first one.
Oh, the thing about the first Panzer Dragoon remake is that when it first came out, it was rough. It was rough. So have since patched it up to where it's functional and good on there, but there is some differences between that and the Saturn version, obviously. But I've seen it go on sale digitally as low as like $2.99. So it's like, I'm hoping, because the publisher of this game, Forever Entertainment, was the same publisher that released the House of the Dead remakes that were kind of iffy on there, and then the Front Mission, remakes from Square Enix that, I don't know if you've been following that, Kev, but on Front Mission 3, they used AI to scale some of the net game, came all wrong, straight ass wrong. So it's like
AI.
AI for AI.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. But I'm keeping an eye on this. I love the Panzer, especially Panzer Dragoon 2 is probably a very special game in my heart with Saturn, because this was the last Panzer Dragoon that was released that kind of had the same gameplay as the first game, where Dragoon Saga with RPG that released afterwards. So, and then of course the other spiritual successor games, there was a Panzer Dragoon that came out for the original Xbox that's quite good on there as well. So I'll definitely keep an eye on this. This is coming out in pretty soon. Let's see. It's showing at Tokyo Game Show. They haven't have a release date for this as of yet, though. So, all right. And to round out the Jabroni gaming news for this episode, I got to talk about this game. So, I saw this game announced, and this has both me and you written all over it, Kev. So, D3, the publishers of EDF and other, have announced in their side-scrolling beat-em-up. It's called Bad Boy Brother on there. So Bad Boy Brother is coming out November 27th. It's coming out worldwide. The price, at least, is going to be 2,000 yen, so bucks. In Japan, there is a physical 28 yen. But this basically is a side-scrolling beat-em-up with some bad boy high school students. So if you want to think of Buddy Buddy Banjo, from back in the day, back in the PSP era over there, if you remember that game, any delinquents on this just kind of speaks out to me. So this game basically is a brawler, but it has some roguelike elements. You actually upgrade your fighters using a Mahjong themed system on there. So you actually take Mahjong tiles and strengthen abilities by using that. There's also partner slots, so you could bring an on-screen partner on there with a slot machine element on there, and your will come in and bring in some various powers and so on and so forth. So you could also grab an alias on here, just like some buzzwords if need be, that will actually evolve your abilities and level on there. And of course, you gain coins in this game to level up too, kind of similar to like a River City game of some sort. So this game has, I think, you written all over it, Kev. I don't know if you had a chance to watch the trailer yet, but I
have not. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to look at it.
So this game is screaming out like, just I'm trying to remember the name of the PSP game where I say Buddy Buddy Buddy. I think it's God.
The one I know there was one for the Vita that I have.
You're thinking about that one game? I'm trying to remember.
The panties are the power-ups that the girls see you fighting and you impress them. They give you panties and you can use to exchange for upgrades.
Kenka Bancho is the name of the PSP game. So I don't know if you remember playing that one or not. So
I think it sounds familiar. I probably couldn't tell you anything about the game.
It's called Badass Rumble is the subtitle. So
okay.
And you basically start out. I remember in that game you start out and you're just like, walking through different parts of Tokyo, like you're going into different territory. You're in our high school territory, punk, and all. Basically brawling and so on and so forth. So you're basically walking around just beating up people and claiming territories. So
look at all all the inspiration River City kicked off. I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some of the characters there, like listed, they go to. Let me attempt this. This is Kitahama Hushihime High School. So, yes, and two of the main characters there in the first grade in the high school, freshmen in this high school at Kitahama Hushimi High School. So,
all the delinquents.
You got it. There's even some different delinquent types. They have even a fat kid. So
yeah, I said. So they got Rufus in the game. Okay,
you got it. And that is the Jabroni Gaming News for this episode.
All right. So thank you for bringing that information to us, sir. Game night takes place. Well, we don't have a set day per se. But what we're going to be doing is giving you all, hopefully, a 24-hour notice.
It will be at least 24 hours, yes.
At least a 24-hour notice for the next upcoming game night. We will be posting that on our Blue Sky account as well as our Discord. So you might be asking, well, Blue Sky I get, but what is this whole Discord thing? How do I get on board with the Discord? That's easy, too. So all you do is head over to Blue Sky and you look for at Gaming Vessels, GAMINGVESSELS. You click the link in the bio and you're in. So we don't have any merch to hawk to you and we don't have a Patreon tier list for you to pay for. All we do is ask that you be a decent human being, likes talking about and playing video games. And I think You will have a jolly good time aboard the good ship gaming vessel. And once you join, just head over to the Game Night channel, post the game that you'd like to play, and between the hosts of this show as well as our growing community, I'm sure you will find someone who'll be able to play games with you. So we're trying to grow this. We're trying to do more. I am going to try and double my efforts to be able to join game nights as well, because we do want to kind of grow our kind of like a grassroots community here, where folks can just jump in and play some games without going through all the rigmarole that often comes with jumping into random online lobbies. So just a place where good people can find good people to play games with. That's kind of like what we're aiming for with that. So that's going to bring episode 290 to a close. I want to thank y'all for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt. So for Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the High Res Hater, a.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might otherwise know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I'm Shonuff71, a.k.a. Diggadolamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And we'll be back next week, episode 291, for your ear holes. Peace.